As I said at the top of the show, we're going to talk today about a law passed by the General Assembly in December, House Bill 17. That bill does a lot of different things, including stripping Governor Roy Cooper of appointments to the UNC School Boards of Trustees and the State Board of Education. It also cuts the number of gubernatorial appointments from 1,500 under Governor McCrory to 425. But our focus will be on the changes in the State Board of Education and the State Superintendent's Authority, which is why I invited our first guest on today. He is Bill Cobey. Bill is the current chairman of the State Board of Education of North Carolina. Bill is also a former congressman and served in Jim Martin's cabinet and was the former chair of the North Carolina Republican Party. So thanks so much for being here. Now, we're going to talk about House Bill 17, obviously passed in December. I guess, first of all, were you involved in any discussions with the General Assembly leadership about something they were considering doing like this?
No, Keith. It would have been helpful if we had been involved, but nobody contacted us. We were as surprised as anybody when the legislation came forward.
Right. Now, I've obviously read some of your comments, that you've made publicly, but just tell us and tell me and the viewers sort of what was your initial take and sort of where, what was your view on what was done with House Bill 17?
Well, as you mentioned, it was sweeping shift of constitutional powers from the state board to the new superintendent. It involves the supervision and administration of personnel, funds, all the things that we have had involvement with the superintendent of public instruction over the last many years. And this is not about Mark Johnson. We intend to have a good relationship with the new superintendent and do our best on behalf of the public school children of this state. But we have to challenge this law because we believe it's unconstitutional. And furthermore, the experts that we have agree with us also. And Judge Stevens issued a temporary restraining order when we got to the courthouse on December 29th. So nothing's changed at this point in time. And I want to make it clear that we only challenge those parts of HB 17 that took away our constitutional powers.
Right, and that's where it stands right now. Is you filed the suit, and there was a stay granted basically. So the law has not been implemented. I mean, you still have the same powers that you had before.
Yes, and we're operating the same way we did when June Atkinson was superintendent. And I want to make it clear to your viewers that the board does not get into management of the agency. The Constitution calls for the superintendent to be the chief administrative officer and secretary to the board, and she managed the department. We intend for the new superintendent to manage the department, but we are the ones charged with overall supervision and administration, producing the rules, the regulations, and the policies that then have to be implemented by the superintendent and the staff at the Department of Public Instruction.
Right, and like you said, you've been operating, you've been chairman of the state board since what, 2013?
Yes.
So you're used to sort of working with the General Assembly, with the governor, with whoever's in charge. June Atkinson had been in charge for the first 3 years.
Right.
And so you would anticipate, which I guess is one reason why it was a little surprising to a lot of people that sort of this came about, because you would have expected, particularly with a Republican being elected to a state superintendent, that you would have had, if anything, a better working relationship and maybe a more collegial working relationship.
Well, I really don't understand why this happened. I understand the General Assembly wanting to be supportive of a new superintendent, but this goes way beyond that. And I haven't figured out what the General Assembly thinks we've done wrong because we have implemented their laws with great fidelity. Maybe not perfectly, but when you get into implementing laws, it can be very complicated to take what's in legislation and actually bring life to it.
Right. No, I understand that. All right. Well, let me shift gears on another topic that gets a lot of attention: charter schools. I mentioned Kestrel Heights.
Right.
There has been a little bit of friction between the General Assembly, the Department of Public Instruction, and the State Board over charter school authorization and oversight. What do you see? And HB 17 actually makes some changes there too. What do you see as your role and as the State Board's role in overseeing charter schools in North Carolina?
Well, clearly, it's our job to approve charter schools. It's also our job to review charter schools and make decisions as to whether they should continue to have their charter. And in Kestrel Heights, that's their issue because they're now before the Charter School Advisory Board having their charter reviewed, and then a recommendation will come to us. Our board, we have an outstanding board, and we're not going to sign off on any charter application that we believe is destined to fail.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And I don't think anybody really should have a beef with us because once the charter cap was lifted, we've gone from 100 to 167 charter schools. And also, the number of charter school students has doubled under our watch. Not just because of new charter schools being approved, because there's legislation that allows charter schools to expand by up to 20% a year and add another grade without coming back to the board. And so we, I think we've done a great job. There are a few people in the legislature who criticize us because they think we ought to be approving a lot more charter schools, but we believe we have to approve quality charter schools.
We agree. Well, look, you got a lot on your plate and a lawsuit hanging over you, but we appreciate your service to the state and the job you do, and we hope that you'll come back and see us again, and we'll talk about some more of these issues.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks a lot. Now, when we come back, we're going to be joined by a former chair of the State Board of Education, Howard Lee, along with a former Associate Justice of North Carolina Supreme Court Judge Willis Wichard. But when we go to break, see if you can answer this question. Mark Johnson was elected superintendent in November. When was the last time a Republican was elected to this post?